Hello. It's Sunday. I am doing my video a little late today because it's Sunday. But I'm doing it. I'm committed to doing these at least these 75 days. So I'm really looking forward to, after all this is over, of going back to the first day that I started doing these videos and kind of seeing what changes have occurred and things like that. So I'm looking forward to that. So it's Sunday. It's been a very, very good week for me. Um, uh, just kind of seeing how this works, how the exercise works. I think everything went very, very well this week. So I exercised 5 days. At first I was like, oh, the whole 75 I was going to do 7 days a week, but it's just too much. It's too much on me. I'll get back to where I was 3 or 4 months ago when I was obsessed with the exercise and I was doing it 7 days a week and I got burnt out, and then I didn't do it for 3 or 4 months, and now I'm here. All right, so 5 days has been good for me, even those 2 days that I wanted to get up and exercise and couldn't from work. It all worked out because I was able to do them this weekend. So I exercised yesterday and I exercised today. I watched church at 8, and then I got myself together, and I used my normal trick that I used to use all the time. And when I've dressed in my exercise clothes, so that way it kind of kept it in my mind that, hey, Nicole, you got to exercise, don't forget. So I did that this morning when I was getting ready to go look at church. I just put on my exercise clothes because I knew after church I was going to come in and exercise with my girl Eva Fitness. I was a Zumba one today, which was actually very fun. So um, that worked for me today. So I did my exercise and then did some computer work, and then I ate at close to 2 o'clock, maybe, or close to 1 o'clock. One of those things, whatever it was. I did my 23 hours of fasting and then went ahead and ate. And I had a good meal yesterday evening. I ended up going with a friend of mine to a barbecue place. Because I wanted to try pork belly. So one thing, I've mentioned this before, if you're eating mostly a meat diet, there's some things like organ meat that gives you extra nutrients. So pork belly is one of those things. I keep saying I'm going to try the liver, but I just haven't. I just haven't. I used to eat liver when I was a kid. I used to love liver. I don't know what's holding me back now. But it's supposed to be really good. So for you, when you're on this type of diet. But anyway, this barbecue smokehouse place had pork belly, so pork belly is good as well. So when I went there yesterday and got a few pieces of pork belly so I could try it, and pork belly really just looks like fat back. I don't know. My dad said this strip of fat, strip of lean, or no, strip of fat, strip of meat, or something like that. But it just looks like fat back. But so I got that and a few. They had these nice spicy greens. I got them. I got a small one. Because I don't know what they cook it in, so I didn't want to be, it carb laden, because who knows what they put in them, because I don't know. I didn't ask, so I could have asked, but I didn't feel like it. So today, and I had got some short ribs from this grocery store. So today, because I didn't really feel like, eating steak, I took a day off. So I had short ribs. I had a few pieces of the pork belly, a little bit of the greens. Probably, I didn't even eat half of the small, maybe about a quarter of the greens, and had a few pieces out of the smorgasbord. I'm sorry, y'all, I didn't even want to post a picture. A little bit of bacon and this cheese. Oh my gosh, these chaffles. I have to show y'all next week. It's cheese in this little teeny cute waffle maker. It's called a chaffle because it's like a cheese in the waffle in a waffle maker. So good. So yesterday I made one with eggs. Usually just two. You can use two ingredients, like an egg and shredded cheese, and then you put in a waffle maker and you can use it instead of bread. It's really, really good. It'd be great on breakfast sandwiches, and it's no carbs, right? or maybe one, whichever one net carb, whatever your cheese is that you use, and you can do all these different type recipes for it. But today I didn't even use the egg because I didn't want the egg with my food, just wasn't feeling it. So I just put straight cheese on the waffle maker thing, and it came out like a crunchy, fried cheese bread. So just a little with the food there. So I ate well. And remember I was talking earlier about how ground beef makes me just feel heavy. Even though I had a good amount of food today, I don't feel heavy. I feel full, but I don't feel heavy like the ground beef. So it all worked well. I also, one thing that I've realized this week is, and this is something I've just seen, I don't eat as much. It used to be when I was doing my one meal a day, I I always, ate enough because you had to get all your calories and stuff in this one meal, but I would eat more. Um, so yesterday and today, I realized that I can't eat as much. It was been kind of seeing it during the week, but yesterday and today, I realized I'm not eating as much. So again, when I feel full, I always say because I'm eating one meal, I feel a little bit more than full. But when I feel it, I need to stop, right? Because again, as back in the day, I was like, oh, it's all on my plate. It's all good. I want to eat it all just to be eating it, even when I'm full, full, full. When I know now that I can't do that. It's a mind change. It's a mindset change. So today I had the short rib that I had was a pretty big short rib. It was good too. It was really good. At first, I had two short ribs on my plate, and I was like, Nicole, stop it. So I put one on my plate because I had all the other stuff as well. But I was full, right? So I had to stop. I almost ate it all. I went, as my usual, little more than full, but um, I had to stop because I realized I don't need as much, and that's one thing you get when you get intermittent fasting and when you are eating low carb on this type of diet here. You eating low carb, then you get full. You don't get unfull as quickly, right? Because your body is working off protein, is working off fat, and that's another thing when you're doing low carb and extremely low carb. You still have to eat fat. We're so scared of, oh no, I'm not eating fat because fat is going to stick to me. But the thing is, if you're low carb and you are not eating carbs, your body uses fat. That's where you get your energy from. So you still have to eat fat so that your body has that place to get energy from. So this week, I wasn't eating a lot of fatty foods as, per se. So yesterday and today I made sure I had some cheese. Short ribs are pretty fatty as well, and then the pork belly, and the bacon. So I could tell that, that difference is needed when you're doing something that's an ultra low carb type thing. And that's why when you are doing things, like the Atkins and things, it says you can eat full fat salad dressing. You can eat butter. You can eat full fat stuff because your body needs that fat because you start burning off fat because you don't have a lot of carbs in your system. Okay? So, because when with the carb, and y'all can look all this stuff up. Please don't take me as a doctor or anything, but just from some readings I've, been doing since I've been dealing with low carb and things because it works for me. Those are the things that I've learned. And even with the lower carb, you have to watch out how much fat, because some people can do low carb, very high fat, and some people can't do an extremely amount of high fat because they still, even though they're doing lower carb, they'll still gain weight. So it again, it's a balancing act and what works for you. For me, I know I can't do low carb, low fat. I can do probably pretty much a low carb, moderate to high fat, and that's how I will lose. That's how I will lose, weight, and that's how my body changes because that's me, and that's again, it's listening to your body, and of course, unfortunately, you got to get on the scale, even though it's not always our friend. You do have to monitor it in a way that you can tell what's going on, as well as having your goal clothes or clothes that you can get into or you can monitor if it's up or down. All right, so that's my 2 cents about the fat with the low carb, and you got to eat fat to lose fat type thing. So it was good. So I took some pictures today since I've been exercising. I took some of my exercise clothes pictures, one back in March. It's just amazing to see the change from back earlier in 2020 to where I am now. And it's very, very inspiring to me. So that's why I'd say always take pictures. Even when you don't want to take pictures, take pictures. And a tip, I need to write it on here somewhere. Tip: when you are doing gold clothes, don't get stretchy clothes. Right? So I have this one shirt, and it's on the page here. That it's a stretchy type shirt, right? So those stretchy type shirts, no matter if you're big or you're small, it's going to kind of form fit you. So that was when I put that shirt on today. And of course, I'm smaller, and then you definitely from the side, side pictures are so unflattering. But I can see the difference, and I can see that I'm smaller, but at the same time, it's still probably more. But this shirt kind of fits to you, right? So get some clothes that are not form fitting. I mean, they can be form fitting, but not that really, really stretchy type material. So that's my tip for taking pictures. But definitely take pictures, because as we're going through this journey, and I know for me, if I wouldn't take pictures, I would be at times so discouraged back in the day, when before I changed my mindset about this is about peace and I can count on the Lord to help me through this. If I was just leaning on me and what I was doing and how I was going through, if I didn't take pictures, I would have stopped a long time ago. So that's why, I suggest take pictures and do a lot of collages. Figure out how to do it on your phone. If you don't know how, figure out how to do collages, because again, putting one picture up against the other, and if you're not sharing your journey with anybody, if it's just you, even still do it. Have some old pictures, have some, you take pictures along the way and you make a collage so that you can see how you were back then and how you are right now. So I share some of mine, but I tell y'all, I take a whole lot more, and I look at a whole lot more of me. And it's not about being conceited, right? It's not about being conceited. It's about showing your progress. It's about giving you something visual. It's about giving yourself encouragement, right? So if you don't have to share it to everybody, it's just you. If you share it, great, because this is your testimony, and your testimony can be helping somebody else. But you don't have to do it that way. Okay, you don't have to. You can just do it for you, and it helps. Okay, beyond that. So always take pictures, because that scale, I'll tell you about the scale a whole nother day, with my relationship with the scale. And I have a pretty good relationship. He's not always my friend, but I keep my scale at arm's length when I need to, and I deal with my scale when I can, because I know how I feel. I know when to get on that scale. I know when I'm in the right mindset to get on the scale. That's a whole nother video. But because if y'all knew how much, how I do that, then you would probably like, Nicole, but it works for me, right? So it depends on how you are. But anyway, those are all my little nuggets. It was just a good week, and I look forward to having a better week, a just as good week next week. So I've eaten. I started doing the Life Fast app, so I could see where I'm at my 23 hours, just so I can kind of keep track. And I did my hour eating, and now I'm back on my fasting, so I won't be eating until I think 2 o'clock or 1 or 2 o'clock tomorrow, to get my fast. I'm also going to wear my Fitbit next week, because I didn't this week. It's a good way to keep track of exercising. So those are the things that I'm going to be doing next week. All right, that's it. All right, have a good one.